Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Turnaround Marriage Live. Hope everybody's doing well. Sounds like just about everybody throughout the U.S. is freezing today. I know it's cold here in East Tennessee, and I just wanted to drop in and share a few thoughts about something I've been thinking a lot about. And that is that a lot of people, both in life and people in their marriages, they get stuck oftentimes. Now, obviously, I'm not saying anything new there, but I think that they get stuck about certain things and they don't necessarily realize why they're getting stuck. In other words, I feel like they may be able to identify what is an issue in their life or a problem in their marriage, and they can't seem to get in their minds why they're not able to fix it. Maybe why their husband or wife is not able to finally hear their heart of hearts, like you've told them 1,000 times and they're still not getting it, right? Whatever it would be, I want to submit to you that things may not be the way that they seem. In other words, you might have believed for a long time in your marriage or in your life that the biggest problem or the biggest struggle was X, Y, or Z. And you might have a lot of reasons to believe that it's actually that. And so I want to throw that out there to help you to maybe really think through the fact that I believe when there is trouble in a marriage, or even in an individual that's getting stuck in life, there are narratives and stories and beliefs that are holding people back. And those things that they're locked into, they may even be fixated on them and can't get the breakthrough. So let me give you an illustration, okay? So I was speaking to a woman, an honorable woman, just the other day, and she got on the phone with me. Her marriage is really in a bad place. In many ways, her husband has already begun to step outside of the marriage. Really a sad situation. But on the phone, she identified that both she and her husband believed that the problem was the way that she kept the house. The problem was the messes. And she believed that because there were some messes, busy life, kids and everything, that the messes that were left and undealt with were the problem in their marriage. Now, you and I might hear that story and say, now, wait a minute, that doesn't quite sound like that would make sense. But I'm here to tell you, if you're in the middle of it and it seems like that's something you can point to and identify, it absolutely makes sense in your mind that that is the problem. And maybe even you and your spouse agree that indeed is the problem. But I want to help you to think about this for a moment, as I did with her. Everyday life, where the problem, the issue with the mess, everyday life, that's not the problem. The symptoms are not the problem. The stressors are not the problem. The expectations in marriage were not the problem. Time and time again, I hear over and over again, it's the coronavirus. This is what's causing the problem. There wasn't problems before this. That's not the heart of the issue. It may be what you believe. You may even be able to identify it in your timeline of that's what happened and that's where you got stuck. But I helped her to think about, now, wait a minute, is that really the heart of the problem? I helped her to see that in their marriage, nourishment, giving to each other, life-giving nourishment had been lacking. Communication had not been what it should have been. Mutual respect wasn't there. Concern for the other person and putting them first and prioritizing the marriage over career and life and even your kids wasn't there. That they had not been prioritizing one another. So guys, it was very clear to me, because I do this all the time, I was able to help her to see that the narratives that she was believing, the stories that she knew to be true, weren't necessarily the key problem. I want to give you another case in point. Just speaking to one of our powerhouse couples we have the privilege of walking with. And they were sharing with me at the end of this call, they're getting amazing breakthroughs. They're really getting on the same page, falling in love again, getting so much clarity, right, about some of the problems that they were having. And they were so excited. They are so excited about what God has in store for the two of them as they reconnect. And as at the end of the call, I asked, is there anything that we're getting stuck on? And the woman shared, well, I just feel like our kids, our adult kids, and the problems that they're having, and the fact that we're not able to get on the same page about them. This is a real struggle, and I don't know how we're going to get through this. And so in her mind, it's like, okay, we're reconnecting, And it's great. And I love that I'm reconnected with my husband again, but there's this big wall, there's this big struggle. And it's my husband is not on the same page with me. He's not doing what he needs to be doing to love, serve, and take care of our adult kids in a way that I believe he should. Now, I understand that. I understand where she was coming from. It might have been a lot of frustration over the years. And I said, well, let's think about this from a different perspective for just a moment. And I helped her to identify that by working on the marriage, by getting things right with her husband, by getting on the same team, by getting the same perspective of how to navigate this together, maybe that they're not even ever going to see it the same way. And that's the point, is husbands, men are different than women, right? And so they're never going to see it exactly the same, and they shouldn't, because they're not the same people. It's like kind of like if you're on a basketball team and one's tall and one's short, you don't put the center at the point guard, and you don't put the point guard as the center, right? You have different unique gifts. And the heart of the matter, the problem, the underlying issue is not the struggle with getting on the same page as with the kids. The heart of the matter is that you guys have not been fighting to get on the same team. You're going to deal with it differently. That's not the issue. The issue is you guys being close and connected, having communication, respect, nourishment for the marriage. And guys, when you can get there, and I just pointed out to them, guys, you are on that path. Lean into God, lean into each other. And what is going to happen is you guys are going to be on the same page about this. Maybe not even seeing it the same way, but you're going to be at peace knowing that your husband has your best interest in heart and the best interest of your kids, and vice versa. And so, guys, my point is, again, that the narrative, the belief, the story didn't fit what was actually the case. And so we all have narratives, guys. I'm not here to point fingers at them, because I know many times that even still to this day that I believe things to be actually fully true, and they may not be. So why do we have narratives like this that we hold on to? Well, there's a few reasons. One, I think we just want an easy answer. Like we just want simplicity. It's like, okay, COVID came into our lives. That has to be what it is. We weren't at home before. We didn't have all these stressors. So what else could it be? Another reason is that we want an answer that's really convenient. We don't want to have to think about it. We don't want to think deep. It's the easiest path for us to find a convenient answer and to then therefore assign blame. And that's the third point. We want to blame something or someone other than ourselves. It's a whole lot better. Why would we want to blame ourselves? And naturally, unless we dig into things a little bit, we're going to assign the blame elsewhere outside of us. It's the circumstance, or it's my husband that's not been getting it. He really, really loves me, but he's not getting this part. So therefore, maybe he's at fault here. So guys, maybe you found yourself to be really agitated at your spouse for years and years. You've told them over and over again, you really want them to help you with this, or you really want them to be on the same page this way, or you really want them to be this way, whatever it would be, whatever you're frustrated about. Is it actually them? Is it actually that specific issue that's keeping you stuck? Or is it perhaps the way that you've done life? Could it be the way that you communicate with each other? Could it be that you don't communicate to your husband with respect? Husbands, could it be that you're not cherishing them the way that they should? And maybe you guys are actually in a rut, and maybe you might actually need some help. That could be the case. Maybe you're frustrated because you're able to identify certain things and you've been trying to get help. You've maybe gone to counselors about it. Maybe you've talked to your pastor. Maybe you've asked your friends to pray, or you've been praying for decades about the same thing and it's still not getting through. And you're so frustrated about it. Guys, I'm here to tell you, it may not actually be the way that it appears. It may actually be that you're fixated and focused on something that is the problem, and it's actually the symptom. So guys, I want to encourage you to get to the heart of the story, to get to the heart of the matter. And this is going to take introspection. This is not just going to be naturally what appears. It might be praying like David prayed to the Lord, Lord, search me and know me. It might be spending time with God and walking with him. It might be just sitting and thinking and writing down and journaling. It might be a lot of those things. But it might also be that you're realizing, boy, I've got to be, the way I'm thinking in life is just locked into a rut of negativity. Maybe I'm locked in and being fixated on these things, and I'm never going to get a breakthrough. I want to encourage you then, if that's you, to check out our master class. It's a free master class about the 5 simple shifts that couples we have seen and worked with as well, that were able to get a turnaround in their marriage. And I think that will absolutely encourage any of you that know that your thinking has been locked in. After listening today, or maybe before you knew it, your thinking has actually been fixated, locked into beliefs that may actually not be the heart of the matter. I hope that encourages you. I hope that makes you, if nothing else, think about things in a different way. God bless you. Hope you have an awesome day. Talk soon.